Yo, what's good? It's your boy Big Steve, and tonight's another episode of Go Blue After Dark, where we smoke and talk Michigan football. So let's get into it. So Michigan moved to 2-0 today, defeating UNLV 35-7 in the Big House. Not the most dominant performance, which for the second week in a row is kind of saying the same thing. The run game is not clicking for some odd reason. You know, JJ's completing passes, but it's really not no threatening passes. It's not taking the top off. You know, Roman Wilson made some good catches, got a good catch and got some yards at the catch, which outside of that play, we struggling with. We're not getting too many yards at the catch. Soon they catch the ball, they're going down. And that worries me going once we get into Big Ten play. So, but outside of that, the run game is not there at all. Something's going on. It just, for some reason, I don't know if these teams just saying they gonna take off and stop the run, or we just don't got the offensive line unit we expected to have going into this season. Okay, if Harbaugh said he got 8 offensive linemen that can possibly be drafted, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. And just watching these last 2 games, the first 2 games, it seemed like even our guards, Zach Zinter and Keegan, has progressed a little bit. You know, so I know it's only week 2. There's a long season to go. Now, you're working kinks out, but when you playing UNLV, we should be putting 70 up. We should be putting 70 up. We should not be going 3 and outs, putting the ball, getting stopped on 4th down twice, running these same mediocre plays up the middle that hasn't gotten us anywhere. I understand, you know, Blake had 1,400 rushing yards, so it must happen somewhere last year. But in the Harbaugh era, outside of the last 2 years, so 7 out of 9 years, it's been run up the middle, run up the middle. You know, if JJ's not going to be a threat in the run game, let's just kill the read option. If he just, because it's going to get somebody hurt. You know, he's handing the ball off to Blake, and Blake got to try to juke 2 dudes before he even get 2 yards up the field. You're going to get hurt. You should not be doing that much juking in the backfield in week 2 versus UNLV. Donovan Edwards, which many analysts in these scouting websites has projected as probably a, you know, 1st or 2nd round draft pick, you know, being that he's supposed to be great at receiving the ball, you know, fast and this and that. But if you can't get past UNLV in the run game, I don't care if it's, forget Penn State and Ohio, we got to worry about Rutgers and Michigan State and probably even Nebraska. You know, so, you know, going into the season saying you got 8 offensive linemen capable of getting drafted, and then you come out and you got Donovan Edwards going 6 carries for 9 yards is not a good look. You know, it kind of reminds me of A.J. Henning last year, where anytime he's on the field and they send him in motion, there's a good chance he's getting the ball. And it seems like we don't, you know, you could say, well, we setting up something for later on with these plays. But it's been proven the last 2 years that nothing has really been set up as far as this goes, you know. So that kind of concerned me. It seemed like they basically gave Donovan Edwards, A.J. Henning's plays from last year. And which you saw last year, anytime when you playing these good teams, Georgia, and you in the playoffs, and they see that this guy's coming in motion, he's going to get the ball. It's a lot different from playing against UNLV or Rutgers. These D linemen getting off the block like that. And it looks so slow. Like I say, I feel we can win the Big Ten with it, but this ain't the 80s and 90s where we just saying win the Big Ten. If we not competing for a national championship, We're going to be the new OU where we just go to the playoffs and get knocked off and made embarrassed. We're going to get embarrassed. You know, and 2 years in a row, we've been embarrassed. 3 years in a row, yeah, Harbaugh's gone. He's not finna deal with suspensions and what Deion doing right now. If you have a recruiting class and you think you happy with that, Deion's finna get a lot of these recruits. You know, a lot. Hopefully, Jaden Davis stayed. That's him and the running back from Ohio is the two guys I'm most hoping that don't flip to another school. But Deion is coming. And a lot of these recruiting class who think, oh, we got this 5-star safety committee or this 5-star receiver, you have a whole nother year to go now. And this dude have possibly 2 Heisman finalists right now. And so he's going to get some momentum going into next year in this recruiting cycle. So right now, this season got me thinking about 2019 Shea Patterson year, or 18, I believe it was, where it just, everything looked so, we had the athletes, we had the players, but is Sherrod Moore the guy for the job? That's what it's going to come down to. You know, Roman Wilson seems like he's taking that step. 5 touchdowns, first 2 games of the season. Whether we playing cupcakes in Texas, that's still good stats. So, but that's for the offense. I'm really concerned with the run game. You know, passing game. Hopefully, Bowling Green, Rutgers, we see more plays down the field. And where's Colston Loveland? I don't even think he played. Did he get hurt? I didn't see anything from Colston Loveland at all. 2 catches for 6 yards. So he played, but we got to get him more involved. We can't force Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum getting reps and touches. It's not working. You know, if we're going to commit to that new style of offense where your quarterback is going to be a game changer and air it out, I'm okay with that. But we can't keep trying to force these guys the ball and missing opportunities for these receivers to get in the game. Because I definitely like our receiving core. The Morris, the sophomore guy, he looked real good at number 8 today. I'm glad they put him back there at punt return because I don't know what was going on with the one guy, Thaw. He just wasn't catching nothing. You know, so I like Tyler Morris. I think he is number 8, JJ's former teammate in high school. So I definitely like what he did today. But like I said, the receivers looking all right. Tight ends, I would like to see more Colston Loveland. I would like to see more of him downfield. We need to see some plays where it's like, all right, we know any moment now JJ can take the top off. Right now, it seems like we are already playing with pick 6 territory. Because a lot of these sideline passes is like, this ball is in the air a while. And once we get deep into the season, that's what same thing TCU corner said. As soon as we saw JJ get in his stance, we knew where the ball was going. And, you know, I like to see us being more, use these next 2 games with Bowling Green. Rutgers always play us hard, but use these next 2 games just trying to get some passes downfield. Let's go ahead and get some passes downfield, then open the run game up. We coming out, handing the ball up the middle, stop. It's like, man, I'm looking at Florida State and these other cats, even Colorado. Their weapons are being used. And it seemed like we supposed to have this dominant offensive line, this dominant run game, and we are looking mediocre right now. You know, so hopefully Bowling Green, Rutgers, we get it going on the offense. Defense, I was happy with the defensive performance. Like I said, we played UNLV, so I didn't expect much. I knew they had a mobile quarterback. That's why I really didn't do a video leading up to this game because it's really not nothing to talk about that we already don't know. We playing against UNLV. Shit, I didn't even know UNLV had a football team until this year when I saw we had them on the schedule. So I wasn't expecting much but dominance. I want to see clean dominance. I don't want to see, damn, guys coming in motion. Donovan Edwards finna get the ball. Let's not do that right now, Moore. Come on, man. Don't do this to me, Moore. Please. But on the defensive side, I was very happy with Kenneth Grant. A sack and a half. He's been dominant. I think he needs to get more strength in his legs. You know, a couple of times he seemed like he was just trying to bully his way with his arm strength. Once again, when you're going against those Penn States, those Ohios, and those stronger teams with better offensive linemen, you stand straight up and trying to run sideways. If you won't, you go have some hands on your ribs. So, you know, he's a big dude, so he's going to have to learn how to use his legs more instead of standing up trying to just bully. But he's quick off his feet. Dude is a beast. I'm very happy with not just this year, but next year's here. Because Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, Derek Moore, that line's going to be beasts. But Rashad Benny got the roughing the passer today, and I noticed he didn't really get into the fourth quarter. I remember when he first committed to Michigan, we kind of flipped him from Michigan State. He was one of the top D linemen in Michigan. And so I was expecting, I believe it's more mental with him because, like, he was a guy, even, against Ohio, he make plays. He get pressure on the quarterback. He's disruptive. But for some reason, it seemed like he's not getting in the game right now. He's on the third team, basically. But linebackers, I'm loving. I'm loving the three-man rotation we got right now. Like I say, Mike Barrett, I like his sideline to sideline speed. He gives a lot of confidence when you playing these teams who got big running backs who can come out the backfield, which last year you watched, he made some big plays one-on-one in space against some running backs last year. So Chris Jenkins, half a sack, 5 tackles. Mike Singlestale balled out. He had a good hit on the guy. Guy caught the ball. Singlestale hit him. Dude coughed up the ball. The Jesus guy. The Jesus. I think that's his name. Brady McGregor, he had an all right game. I guess he had 5 tackles, I believe. No sacks for for McGregor. Derek Moore, who is, I believe, my favorite D lineman for the future and right now, he had a sack where he just basically showed his speed where that lineman was like, yeah, it's levels to this shit. But Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, Derek Moore, I'm excited for those dudes. Defense, Keon Sabb, man. He's looking very reliable. Being that we have some key players out right now, he's been stepping up. So he's showing that he's going to be ready to play. The one freshman guy, Hillman, he kind of got there late on that touchdown today, but he's going to be a freshman to watch out for years to come. Hopefully, with him and Keon Sabb, let me see. I want to get his name right. But I'll get it later on. But we really have some key players who's going to come back next year where I felt if we can figure out a situation for quarterback, which I will talk about on another video because that's horrible, but just sticking on the defensive side right now, I was very impressed. Ernest Hausman. We have some guys at linebacker, I feel, where the first year against Georgia in the playoffs, And last year, I believe our weakness was our linebacker core. They couldn't get off blocks. It was no thumping in the backfield, and that's the reason Georgia and basically TCU was able to run up the middle on us a lot. So, but overall defense balled out. Like I say, Keon Sapp is a guy I'm very looking at. He's looking like a player. He was a big time recruit. We flipped him from Clemson last year, so I'm very interested in seeing where he goes. Jalen Harrell balled out today, had a sack and a half. He's looking like the same guy he's been the last 3 years. So he's a guy who's going to make plays, but I believe he's not an every down defensive end. I don't think he's a third down defensive end. Jasiah Stewart, the transfer, I saw him in on a couple plays. But overall defense, it wasn't bad. Kenneth Grant, dude's a stud. I think he's gonna be, he look like he's a guy. Even over Chris Jenkins, he was I believe he probably had the most snaps along that defensive line. I believe he's the guy coaches like right now. He was the first pick of the annual spring game this past year, and it's looking like everybody sees what we see now. The dude's gonna be a beast, true sophomore. So like I say, him, Mason Graham, Derek Moore, hopefully Rashad Benny can get his head right, I guess. Number 99, Goody, I believe he came over from Oregon State a couple years ago. But overall, like I say, good win. I don't want to do too much nitpicking, but the Donovan Edwards situation and the backup quarterback right now. So that's another video to come where we need to discuss Donovan Edwards' usage and the backup quarterback, because they look horrible. Horrible. We got to pray JJ stay healthy, because if he goes down, we go down. And it's simple as that. So, like I say, ain't too much to talk about, man. 35-7, 2-0. Bowling Green next week. Probably do a video on that. Probably don't. Like I say, Bowling Green. Shit, I didn't even know they had a football team. But overall, I'm excited with the young receiving core. We got some freshmen out there that look like receivers. They got some freshmen out there that look like receivers. So I'm excited, man. Bowling Green next week. Another game in the big house. Hopefully we be more dominant. Other than that, go blue.